Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is Brother Yatab Yawa'ala coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. All right, Lord's will is edifying. But this one, going into prophecy, all right, one of the last major prophecies to come to pass, all right, one of the ones we're looking for, we're constantly watching for, all right, is the MOTB. Now, the Lord deals with gradualism and Esau, he's pushing this on the left-hand side, all right. Ultimately, this is, this is the one who has control of the beast, all right, the beast and his system, which the beast, all right, is modern day NATO and EU, all right, headed by America. But who runs the whole thing? All right, it's Esau Edom, okay, the last nation to be in control before Yasharallah, all right, comes into power, before Yahushai and the elect come into power. All right, Lord's will be at that number. But again, this is one of the last prophecies we're looking for. All right, and see again, the Lord is showing this. This is Esau working. Okay, now this is dated from about a week ago, and I just got a couple articles. And hit a couple precepts. Lord's will, it's not going to be too long. But this is from the Economist. All right, it says. It's just a couple excerpts. It says, dreams of improving the human race are no longer science fiction. All right, but the enhancement industry is still hobbled by out-of-date regulation. So what does this tell you? This is their agenda, okay? And we're going to get into it. You see, this is the what would be the human body, but now you have all these different robotics set up to it. All right? Now, what do they have to work on? They have to work on their regulation, and this is what they've been doing. Okay, the infrastructure. Now here's another picture. You see, you got the human mind hooked up, and what is this? It's a monitor, monitoring their DNA, their brain, their blood, all their different little parts of their body. All right, you're hooked up to a system, and you're being monitored. This is the agenda. All right, this is just one little excerpt. It says. Neuralink is also developing an implant to restore sight to the blind, although it has not yet started human trials. In the long run, however, Mr. Musk wants not just to overcome disabilities, but to increase patients' mental powers. He hopes to use BCIs to connect people's brains to artificial intelligence, massively augmenting reasoning capacity and knowledge. All right, this is what they push out. All right, overcoming disabilities, mental powers, all right, these pseudo miracles, okay, but ultimately, what does it go to? It goes to the MOTB, all right. That's pretty much it on that. Let me jump over here now. That was dated from a week ago. This is as of recently. I think it's today. Yep, April 1st, 2025. This is IndianExpress.com. And it says Elon Musk's Neuralink to implant blind sight chip in first human by 2025. So again, what I just showed you over here, this was from a magazine called The Economist, but this is called predictive programming. This is the agenda they want to go into. All right. Now this is again another article came out today, and this is what they're trying to do. It says Elon Musk has said his brain chip startup Neuralink aims to have its artificial visual prosthesis blind sight implanted in a human for the first time by the end of 2025. We're hoping later this year to have a first device implant for humans, enabling someone who is completely blind to see. The tech billionaire said in a response to a question by an audience member at his town hall held in Wisconsin, U.S. Sunday night. Musk expressed caution in setting expectations for the implant and said that initially, blind sight would only be capable of providing low-resolution vision like Atari graphics in blind people. It'll start off with very low resolution, but then over time, the implant would eventually enable vision that is superhuman. All right, and see this again. This is what the devil is saying. All right, this is how we selling it. But don't get blindsided. All right, and again, we understand that the elect won't be. Let me grab this real quick. In Second Corinthians. All right, hey, this is why the Lord has set up His prophets. All right, from our apostles and elders on down to bring these things out, because this shows us, that who the devil is, what his agenda is, ultimately, what the Lord has planned in prophecy wise. And when these things come to pass, the elect aren't going to be bugging out. All right, they're not going to be, oh, what is that? Or the MOTB is sin. No, the elect know exactly what it is, because you have the true men of the Lord pushing what it is. All right, anybody saying that it's not the MOTB or saying the MOTB is not the C-HIP, you're bugged out. All right, you don't have the truth. You don't have the Ruach HaKodesh, because if you had the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit reveals all things. Okay, 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." All right, now again, the elect, all right, are not ignorant of these devices. When we bring these things out, this is showing you his exact plan. This is what he wants to do. This is what the devil wants to do. All right, this is the MOTV, hooking you up into the Internet of Things by way of a C-HIP. All right, this is this is the marketing phase, or this is him nudging, giving his little, what do you call it? Basically, he's selling it. All right, he's coming up with the infrastructure. He's coming up with the laws. He's putting these things in place and giving you all superhuman eyesight. You go into superhuman bodies, which really it's all lies. All right, it's pseudo miracles. Okay, but again, what's next? What's after this? What's after this? Selling it and getting all these people on board. Well, it's going to be implementing it. All right. Now again, 2 Corinthians 2:11, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." You have the men of the Lord out there, going into the highways and byways day in and day out, pushing these lessons, watching, giving the true news, all right, prophetic news of what's going on in the world. All right, so hey, we know exactly what this thing is. All right, we know this number one device, the MOTB, is the C-HIP. Okay, it's not sin, it's not sleeping with white women. All right, it's the C-HIP, and I gotta say it like that, because of the algorithm. All right, Esau deletes everything. All right, hey, but hey, you can't do nothing against the truth before it. Hey, this word has gone out. Okay, Romans 11, real quick. And verse 7, it says, "What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded." What has the elect obtained? All right, ultimately salvation. All right, that's the ultimate thing that the elect are going to obtain. But it starts with what? Understanding the true knowledge and wisdom, understanding prophecies. All right, understanding what is going on in the world, so that faith is built up to the point when these things get to come into pass. Again, the elect aren't bugging out. All right, it says, "What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded." The 2/3 of our people have no idea what's going on. So it is what it is, because that alone is fulfilling prophecy. All right, it says, "According as it is written, the Most High had given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day." All right, and this is what's going on. You see the majority of our people not being able to understand these things. All right, I mean, look at this. This is what Esau has planned. All right, this is what he's pushing. This is everything that's going on. I mean, Trump just came out. What was it, yesterday or the day before yesterday? Basically, payments at the federal level are going to become digitalized. Everything's heading towards a digital system. All right? And why is that? Because of the MOTB. Because of prophecy. All right? Now, real quick, and I want to jump to Wikipedia. What is it? Amos? Yeah, Amos. Yeah, Amos 3 and 7. It says, surely the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto the servants, the prophets. So again, you have you have the true men of the Lord. All right, from our apostles and elders on down, pushing truth. All right, and you can see it. All right, hey, the Holy Spirit is truly with these men. All right, again, from the apostles and elders on down, we don't do this because we want some type of what do you call it? Monetary gain. All right, we don't want no glory in this place. All right, we doing this because hey, the Lord has given us the Spirit to believe, and we can see it. And what does it say? We believe, therefore we speak. Okay. And we got to get the blood off our hands. We have to push the warnings out. It is what it is. But we understand it and believe and know that the elect are going to get these things. I just read it. All right, the elect have obtained these. It says, surely, Amos 3 and 7 again, surely the Lord Yahweh Shai Shai will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. And the prophets have the truth, the 100% truth. Who the Israelites are, who Esau is, all right, what the MOTB is, who the beast is, all right, what the MOTB, again, what the MOTB is, World War III, the third woe, all right, who's to rule, everything, who's going to obtain salvation in this time, the elect. People have a problem with us always going into the elect. Well, what does the scripture say? It's all about the elect. The elect are going to obtain it at this time. We just read it. All right? You got the 1/3 and the 2/3. What does the 1/3 represent? The elect. What is the 2/3? The hard-headed of our people who just aren't meant to get it at this time. Yes, all Israel will be saved. They'll come back in the kingdom. But the first fruits, the ones who are going to be saved from the second death, are the elect. They know without a shadow of a doubt what this MOTB is. All right? And why is that? Because the Lord has set up the true prophets to break down everything that's going on. All right? Let me get that real quick. What is that? I know it's in Jeremiah. Bear with me real quick. Pastors according to my heart. Yep, Jeremiah 3. Real quick. Jeremiah 3 and 15. And it says, and I will give you pastors. And what's a pastor? It's a teacher. Who has the secrets? We just read it in Amos. The prophets, the true prophets. It says, and I will give you pastors according to my heart. And this is how the Lord has always spoke to the people. He uses his men, the prophets. Now, if you have a problem with that, really you have a problem with the Lord, because we're just messengers. All right? It says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. All right? So the true men of the Lord, which have been given the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Spirit by Yahweh Shai Shai, to understand these things. Well, what are they doing in turn? They're giving it to the elect. They're making their bodies a living sacrifice. They're pushing this knowledge day in and day out, week in and week out, to give you the true understanding, because it's commanded. All right? But this is all by way of Yahweh Shai Shai. This knowledge, this understanding comes from the Lord. This is his message. Now, if you want to believe it or not, it is what it is. All right? We don't really care if you believe or not, because we understand the prophecy of the 2/3. But we know that this is going to come to pass. Romans 3 and 3, it says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Are these things not going to come to pass? We're literally living in it right now. It says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. All right, hey, the Lord is true. The Lord is not a man that he should lie. If you want to believe it or not, hey, that's on you. All right, but the Lord is already showing us. He's already said these things were going to come to pass. And they're coming to pass as we speak. All right? Hey, if you want to believe it or not, again, we don't care. But we're going to give you the truth. And we know that the elect are going to have this and be edified, all right, and be exhorted and be built up in the times to come, because that's all it's about. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna jump back to the Internet of Things. I wanted to just read a little bit of that, but let me grab this first. Ezekiel 33 and 33, and it says, "And when this cometh to pass," all right, what's gonna come to pass? These prophecies, all right. This main one being the MOTB, which is indeed the micro C-hip, all right. Whether it's a Neuralink, whether it's any type of C-hip in your brain, in your hand, in your arm, in your butt, wherever you want to put it. All right, the R to the F to the I to the D, C-hip. All right, that same technology. That is the MOTB. All right, it says, "And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come." Whether you believe it or not, it's going to come. "Then shall they know that a prophet had been among them." And that's when you're going to understand who the true prophets are. All right. Yahushua, the scriptures talk about, seeing a tree by its fruits. What is the fruits of the true men of the Lord? Videos day in and day out. Men who believe, we call ourselves hopeful elect who believe and who are truly repenting and patterning their lives according to the scriptures and watching for these things to come to pass. That's the fruits of the true men of the Lord. And what do you see the fruits of these wicked Israelites, these false prophets? All right, you're seeing the Lord exposing them, as we speak. All right? Are they going into prophecy? Or are they telling you the names don't matter? They're not even going into the MOTB, World War III. They're over here trying to, set up shop in Nigeria. They're over here, getting exposed for buying kits online. Hey, the Lord is exposing these false prophets. And you know what? The men of the Lord are they're being exposed too. But exposed on the right-hand side. All right? To be the true men of the Lord. Just pushing truth. That's it. Being messengers of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And Lord's will, we be saved. All right? Lord's will, we be of that number, because we don't know. That's a hard truth. Understanding that, many are called, few are chosen, and knowing that and understanding that, we might not just be written in the book, but we believe it. All right, we hope it to be true. You know what? And we're going to make our bodies a living sacrifice nonetheless. Lord's will, we be at that number. All right? But you have these other people acting like they're saved already, acting like they're of the elect. No fear of the Lord. Okay? But again, they're being exposed. All right? Now, let me just get into this a little bit. This is the Internet of Things. And this is what our apostles and elders been going into. This is the agenda, all right, and it's just gonna describe a little bit of it, but this is his idea, all right. This is his plan, okay, with the MOTB. It's all everything, the digital infrastructure, the CBDCs, the digital money, all this cyborg transhumanism. This is what it's a part of, all right, and this is why you have the Alexas in your home, the smart TVs, the smart thermometers. Everything is headed towards just being able to be surveilled. Okay? Internet of Things, it says, this from Wikipedia, describes devices with sensors, processing ability, software, and other technologies that connect and exchange data with other devices and systems over the internet or other communication networks. The IoT, or Internet of Things, encompasses electronics, communication, and computer science and engineering. The Internet of Things has been considered a misnomer because devices do not need to be connected to the public internet. They only need to be connected to a network and be individually addressable. All right? And this goes into everything. All right? It says the field has evolved due to the convergence of multiple technologies, including ubiquitous computing, commodity sensors, and increasingly powerful embedded systems, as well as machine learning. Older fields of embedded systems, wireless sensor networks, control systems, automation, including home and building automation, independently and collectively enable the Internet of Things. In the consumer market, IoT technology is most synonymous with smart home products, including devices and appliances, lighting fixtures, thermostats, home security systems, cameras, and other home appliances, and that support one or more common ecosystems and can be controlled via devices with that ecosystem, such as smartphones and smart speakers. IoT is also used in healthcare systems. All right. Now, again, this is their plan. All right, to have everything on a grid, so to speak, so you can be monitored. Everything about you can be monitored. That's the whole process behind the CHIP. Okay, so you can be monitored, so you can be a slave, a slave hooked up to their digital system where you always be monitored, and and that's exactly what it is to accept Esau as your God. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna read all of this, but you could just Wikipedia, Internet of Things, and it goes into it, the medical aspects in medical healthcare, transportation, home automation, industrial, manufacturing, agricultural, maritime, infrastructure, energy management, environmental monitoring, living lab, military, everything. All right, well, because really it goes into Esau's God complex. You know what I'm saying? Salakia, let me get that real quick. Because this is what he has. All right, he wants to be like the Most High. Bear with me real quick. Yep. That's the spirit. Second Thessalonians. All right. 2. Yeah. Let me just start at 3. All right, because the Lord has exposed this man, and again, part of the secrets given to the servants, the prophets, is understanding who Esau is. All right. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first." And if you can understand, this happened already. All right, starting in 70 AD, when we got pushed into the interiors of Africa. All right, when we went into the transatlantic slave trade, when we had our heritage beat from us. All right, that was the falling away. We lost our heritage. It says, "And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Now we're living in the time where the man of sin is being revealed. Who is that? That's Esau Edom. Okay, that's the so-called white man. All right, you have the Rothschilds, the elite bankers, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. Those controlling Edomite families, which is the tribe of Amalek. They're ultimately the ones in power of all this that you see going on. They have the money and infrastructure and resources to back all these things. They control the politicians and all these different governments to push this. All right. But this is what I wanted to get. This is a characteristic, and this exactly shows you the Internet of Things. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High. So not only does he adversary or oppose what the Lord has set up, but he exalts himself above the Most High. This is the pride of this devil. It says, or that is worshipped, or that he is so that he is as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And this is part of it. This is his God complex, okay? He wants to be like the Most High. Here it is. The Lord has, hit the Lord's program set up, and he thinks that he can do something, against it. He thinks he can set up his monitoring system. He has left-handed angels, his Internet of Things to monitor everybody and control everybody. All right? But what's going to happen? The Lord is going to take this man out of power. All right? The Lord is not going to let him fulfill his agenda. And again, he's being exposed at an all-time high by way of the prophets. All right? By way of, prophecy. All right? Now, I guess I'll end off on that, real quick. It's Job. Because, the Lord has promised us and showed us that this dude is not going to win, all right? He's not going to win in his agenda. He's not going to fully chip everybody, all right? He'll chip, the majority of our people, but the elect aren't going to get chipped, all right? And what's going to happen? Well, the Lord's going to take this man out of power. Okay? Job 20. And, you know, yeah, let me get straight to the point. Yeah. Let me just start at verse 19. It says, Job 20 and 19, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor. All right. And how do we know this? Well, he's been exposed. He has the receipts. Because he hath violently taken away a house which he buildeth not. He's a thief. He's a murderer. All right. This is the wicked. It says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. And what does he desire? Ultimate control. All right. And you see him plotting and scheming. All right. You've seen him setting up this thing. This has been in his mind for hundreds of years, if not thousands. All right. Trying to establish his rule forever. All right. And the only way he can do that is to get rid of Jake. And this is his plan with the Sea which really is not his plan, but this is what he thinks he's going to accomplish, is get the majority of Jake, and then whoever goes against it or who doesn't get it, he can kill. But he's not going to be able to get the elect. All right. It says, he shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So when he thinks he's about to win, all right, the Lord's going to take him out of power and put him in slavery. All right. It says, it says when he is about to fill his belly, okay, just when you think he has total control, he is, the sea hip is implemented, people are taking it, you know, he thinks he's about to ride off into the sunset. It says, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. And what is this? Well, it is ultimate nuclear destruction, okay, which is going to destroy his cash cow, this little whore, America, all right? But also, too, he's going to get taken out of power. All right. He's going to be in straits. He's going to be put into slavery. The elites, the top elites, are going to be put into slavery. They're going to be taken out of control. All right. So everything that, you know, this man has planned, you know, it's the Lord has already promised that it's going to come to naught. But, you know, we're seeing the buildup. We're seeing the buildup. We're seeing where it's going. All right. These things must pass before, you know, ultimately before the kingdom comes. But this is what we're seeing. All right. And the Lord is showing that he's working. And he has his men breaking these things down to show you that, yes, he is working. But, you know, again, you have the majority of our people who won't believe. But that's okay. All right, that's okay. And you know, we do this for the elect. All right. So the elect know, and the elect have their faith, you know, to that ultimate level. All right. For when these times, when this thing is actually implemented. Okay. The elect will know not to take it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, a Lord's will, this is edifying. Like I said, hey, the Lord is working, you know, and the sea hip is indeed the MOTB. All right. Without a shadow of a doubt. All right. If you're saying anything other than that, then you either sold out or the Lord just really, truly, you know, has blinded you. All right. But yeah, you know, again, Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, call Elohim Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and above all.